And we are live. This is Toronto Stevie Live Political Desk. King Charles III has visited Canada to deliver the throne speech in the House of Commons on Tuesday, 2 days ago. And this was a historic moment for the country, as this was particularly a symbolic message delivered to the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who basically continues to spew the rhetoric of the 51st state. But nonetheless, King Charles, the sovereign, the King of Canada, came on a very special trip to deliver the message, to deliver the speech from the throne written by the government of Canada. But nonetheless, he made it clear that Canada is the true North, strong and free. He added his own recollections of coming to Canada. He mentioned this was his 20th visit over 50 years of coming to Canada, visiting the country. And every time he comes, a little bit of Canada enters his bloodstream. A very nice, articulate, well done speech by the king, and hopefully, but unlikely, President Donald Trump got the message that Canada is the true North, strong and free, a sovereign, independent country that will never, ever be the 51st state. Now, of course, Donald Trump, not one to be outdone, outshined by what's going on around the world, had to do something to get the spotlight back on him. So he came up with an idea that called the Golden Dome. And not only did he come up with this idea, but he also had a tweet about Canada on his Truth Social. And it was something to the effect of, I told Canada, which very much wants to be a part of our fabulous Golden Dome system, that it would cost $61 billion if they remain a separate but unequal nation, but will cost $0 if they become our cherished 51st state. They are considering the offer. Now, it should be noted that President Donald Trump is a pathological liar. He has no credibility, and you simply cannot believe anything that this man says. No, Canada is not considering becoming the 51st state. Prime Minister Carney, in a very polite message, might consider the offer, but he has not committed $61 billion, and I don't even think he's going to even seriously consider that becoming part of this Golden Shower Dome, because really this is not a new idea. Back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan envisioned the Star Wars missile defense system and the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, or Star Wars. This was never built. And some 40 years later, Donald Trump is recycling this old idea and calling it the Golden Dome. Now, keep in mind, Canada does not have $61 billion to spend. We are deeply, over $1 trillion in national debt that has to be paid off. So we cannot afford to put $61 billion into even further debt to something as ridiculous as the Golden Dome. But nonetheless, Donald Trump, who exists in his own world, continues to express his fantasies to the rest of the world. But it was an historic message from the king, who basically outlined the government of Canada's vision for the rest of the world, for Canada, for the country, and what they are going to focus on. And this is what I want to get into next is I think you're going to see Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is going to function 180 degrees in a different direction from a government led by Justin Trudeau. I expect Prime Minister Carney to be more of a taskmaster, to demand more things done from his government, from his ministers, from the federal public service than what you saw under Justin Trudeau. He has an ambitious project. He's aiming very high. And I think this is a very good idea. Let me just turn on the lights so that you can see me. Can you see me now? There is going to be a lot more work being done by a Mark Carney led federal government than you saw under Justin Trudeau, whether it's housing, affordability, um, whether it's investments in becoming an energy superpower. And I think the real measure of Mark Carney as a prime minister will come if and when he is prepared to enact legislation that is beneficial to Canada, but what he may idealistically may not always agree with. In order to become an energy superpower, we do have to have a Canadian future that includes fossil fuels. I do not think that Carney, in his prime ministerial role, he can't continue the Trudeau era no pipeline rule. I think eventually you're going to see this legislation, much like the consumer carbon tax, you're going to see the no pipeline legislation be repealed. And keep in mind also that, yes, um, Parliament has only resumed just this week. So Mark Carney has an ambitious plan. He really should extend Parliament beyond, um, I think, 3 weeks or however long the summer vacation is supposed to take place. It would be a very good idea for the Prime Minister to deliver a message that, oh, we're going to have to work a little bit longer into the summer in order to get things started. That would be a very good idea for the Prime Minister to do, especially if he has these ambitious plans. One of them being that by July the 1st, he wants to introduce legislation that lowers and eliminates provincial trade barriers so that the provinces can trade um, goods back and forth much more easily. This would be a very good idea. It would stimulate the economy. It's the only sticking point that might delay it might be the individual provincial premiers who have to realize they have to get on board in a Team Canada approach to counter the Trump tariffs. Um, and I think that this has a chance to succeed because not only should we improve provincial trade, but Mark Carney also wants to improve the relationship between Canada and the European Union. You have to realize that we live in a much larger world. We cannot constrict ourselves to just our each individual provinces. And with Donald Trump in the White House, we have to realize that even though the United States is our largest trading partner, we have to branch out into the rest of the world, increase trade, and maybe that does include um, going completely in a different direction from Justin Trudeau, and actually exporting liquid natural gas and oil to countries that need it. That would be Another very good idea for the Prime Minister to consider, you have to realize, again, the real measure of the Prime Minister will he be able to enact legislation, enact policy that he may not necessarily agree with in the next few months and maybe the next 4 years, however long the government lasts. And again, they are a few seats short of a majority government, so the specter of a non-confidence vote in the House of Commons will continue to hang over the Carney Liberals. Um, we'll wait and see if that actually comes to pass. But nonetheless, it's been a historic week. Um, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm glad that I finally got on. Like and subscribe. Watch all of my videos. And the Toronto Stevie Live Political Desk, once again, I have other videos. Please watch, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. And where you can find me is right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter X, and on the In Your Head Wrestling Radio video cast Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock, where I deliver the Monday Night Raw report. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and good night.